Today, we will discuss an important topic: narcissistic behavior and how individuals with narcissistic tendencies behave when they encounter challenges in controlling situations. What happens when a person becomes difficult to manage? When a narcissistic individual perceives someone as a potential challenge or obstacle to their aspirations, they begin to devise plans to ensnare that person. In such cases, the victim remains resilient and unbroken in the face of their repeated tactics. Alternatively, their strategies might prove ineffective, failing to achieve the desired outcomes. What does the narcissistic person do in such scenarios? A narcissist is the type of individual who seeks control over and destruction of others. They consistently strive to display dominance, draining the victim's energy and resources while adroitly manipulating them. The primary goal of a narcissistic individual is control and dominance. Employing an array of deceptive tricks and methods, the narcissist exercises control over the victim and draws them into their web. They possess significant skills in manipulation and exploitation, which they deftly employ to manage others. Narcissists might employ seduction and manipulation to make the victim feel admiration and love towards them. Crafting a false and appealing image of themselves, they exploit these traits to attract others and make them emotionally invested. They exploit this dynamic to establish control over the victim. In some cases, this could escalate into an unhealthy and obsessive attachment. Escaping such a convoluted and destructive relationship becomes challenging for the victim. The narcissist utilizes all these tactics to achieve their objective of control and dominance. It's important to note that appearances and eloquent speech can be deceiving. Narcissists use these qualities to allure victims, but only God truly knows individuals' intentions. We must be cautious and rational in our dealings with people, evaluating them based on their actions and behavior rather than just their external appearances. The narcissist presents an appealing facade like this, highlighting perfection, beauty, and all things positive about themselves. The narcissist's focus is solely on their own needs and desires, seeking to fulfill them by exploiting and manipulating their victims. Over time, the narcissist cares only for themselves, regardless of appearance or relationship. As long as you are present in the narcissist's life, you contribute to their goals and cater to their needs, assuming the role they've designated for you. The narcissist won't miss any opportunity to exploit or enact their ideas, whether familiar or unfamiliar to the human mind. They'll use any means to achieve control over you, even if it means surpassing the limits of imagination. Their primary objective is to maintain control over you, even if it requires executing unexpected or unimaginable actions. Narcissists consistently strive to control people and the world around them. They always interact with others with disdain and condescension, perpetually aspiring to dominate them mentally and physically, aiming to have the final say in their lives. When encountering strong and independent individuals, the narcissist struggles to control them. They fail to find a weakness that makes them manageable. They start feeling threatened and realize they can't easily control them. These individuals can see through the narcissist's facade and uncover their vulnerabilities. Note that the narcissist, no matter how hard they try, cannot find a way into the hearts and minds of these people. These individuals are able to sense the narcissist's true intentions and resist their authoritarian attempts. Individuals with strong determination, who refuse to relinquish their rights, principles, or opinions, are the ones who remain unaffected by the narcissist's words. The narcissist can't change or influence them, as they possess psychological stability and unshakable self-confidence. These individuals exhibit mental and emotional maturity, enabling them to withstand the temptations, plots, and deceptions of the narcissist effectively. Thus, they can effectively counter the narcissist. In attempting to deal with these individuals, the narcissist's reaction is always aggressive and persistent. They'll use every means to gain their attention and deliver their words to them to achieve control. This is because their control heavily relies on these individuals' presence in their lives. They strive to portray themselves as in control of their destinies and lives, while in reality, they aim to sway them with their opinions and lies. People with mental, emotional, and psychological strength cannot be deceived by narcissistic tactics. They are fully aware that this type of individual always seeks to exploit and target the vulnerable ones who are easily controllable. The narcissist carefully selects their victims, looking for individuals they can control and who possess weaknesses in their personalities. Regardless of the narcissist's attempts, strong individuals will not respond to them or their tactics. They know well that the narcissist's goal is to control them and diminish their worth by undermining their personal value. Despite the continued attacks by the narcissist, these individuals remain resolute and unyielding, not succumbing to their attempts. The narcissist always seeks tools to reach these individuals. When their usual methods, which they employ with everyone, fail, they begin searching for their vulnerabilities. They don't give up easily. Instead, they utilize every possible means to manipulate them. They might resort to using love, emotions, and even tarnishing reputations and spreading false information to gain control over these individuals. It's evident that the narcissist neither respects nor values anyone. They disregard others' feelings and show no empathy towards them. When dealing with naturally empathetic individuals, they exploit this against them. They portray themselves as affected by their difficulties and present themselves as needing their support. They capitalize on the responses they receive from them, whether in the form of sympathy or assistance, to achieve their objectives. It's well known that exploiting empathy is one of the narcissist's methods to achieve their goals with these individuals. They leverage these feelings and emotions to win their affection. However, it should be noted that they don't do this naturally. They use it as a means to control them. They harness these emotions to ensnare them and achieve their goals. The narcissist employs tactics of exploiting empathy to serve their interests. They position themselves as vulnerable before them, appearing in need of their assistance. By doing so, they attempt to make them stand by their side, thus gaining their support. Over time, they capitalize on these situations for further influence and control. The narcissist skillfully exploits feigned vulnerability as a means of manipulation and control. This tactic is one of their common ways to achieve their goals. The narcissist can adept employ acting skills, appearing as if they're suffering from an illness to gain sympathy and pity from others. They use this trick to achieve their objectives by portraying themselves as struggling and in a difficult situation for them. This behavior might partially or wholly absolve them of responsibilities and duties, whether at home or in relationships. The narcissist resorts to this approach to evade responsibilities in any form. They use displays of weakness and needs to avoid accountability. They attempt to appear dependent on others, implying that their lives rely on them. They exploit this to show themselves as desperately needing them and that their lives must continue with their presence. This demonstrates complete vulnerability in matters and makes strong individuals feel that their lives are entirely tied to the narcissist's presence. Individuals with strength and independence might respond negatively to this type of manipulation. They might understand they're dealing with someone trying to evade responsibilities and control them through emotions. In some cases, these strong individuals might begin contemplating ending this harmful relationship. When you find yourself in a situation with a narcissist, you'll recognize their true nature when they start acting differently towards you. Their new behavior might seem like a way to complicate things for you and exploit the empathy you display towards them. At that moment, you'll realize that the person you're dealing with is indeed a narcissist and is attempting to achieve their goals through the manipulation of these emotions. Sure, here's the text translated into English with formatting. We've previously pointed out, my friends, that narcissists don't know how to stop. They will never give up or cease their attempts to control you and win all the battles they wage. Everything they do aims to ensure that they remain in control and achieve superiority. These actions compensate for the emptiness they feel within. The narcissist launches their new attack in a way that exploits the failures of previous attempts to exert influence. Therefore, they begin using your circle of acquaintances, friends, and family members to achieve their goals. The narcissist plants false ideas and misleading information about you in their minds. For example, they may claim that you lack positive qualities and possess negative ethics. They succeed in tarnishing your reputation among those close to you. The narcissist targets these individuals because they are usually easily influenced and prone to falling victim to their deception. They seek to control them and use them against you. Although they can't directly control you, they employ these individuals as tools to achieve their objectives. They start spreading lies and distorting the truths about you through them. The narcissist follows a tactic of siege, wherein they sow anxiety and fear among these individuals regarding you. The way they interact with you changes, and they begin to avoid you. The narcissist's intention behind this is to ensure that you won't be able to escape their influence. Instead, you'll remain under their control. They exert significant effort to maintain their impact and continuity. When facing a narcissist employing tactics of siege and distortion, remember that they seek to control your image and reputation through others. You must remain strong and insist on your truths and positive qualities. Avoid letting them affect you with their malicious methods. People entangled with narcissists often find themselves in an immensely challenging situation. Narcissists exploit these relationships to pursue their personal goals, even within your network of connections. This can even become catastrophic within your workplace, where a narcissist might engineer your dismissal by fanning discord and tension between you and your colleagues. In a work environment, a narcissist in a managerial position can transform into a pretext for your termination. Maliciously, they might portray you as unpopular among your peers and even spread rumors or tarnish your image in their eyes. They mold you into an undesirable figure in their perception. You might notice your colleagues distancing themselves and avoiding you. This may be the intended outcome. Undoubtedly, your co-workers might struggle to deal with you, and tension might arise when they are around you. This situation is part of the narcissist's strategy to gain control by fomenting tension between you and those around you. If the narcissist successfully stirs tension between you and your colleagues, they might exploit this tension as grounds to have you terminated. If the narcissist is unable to sow discord between you and your colleagues, they may resort to making sustained efforts to belittle you or undermine your performance at work. Regardless of your actual achievements at work, the narcissist could consistently endeavor to diminish your worth in the eyes of others. They always strive to dominate you and fulfill their objectives, irrespective of your actual successes and contributions. If you find yourself exposed to any of these situations, you must acknowledge that these are vile tactics aimed at undermining your confidence and control. You should continue working diligently and excelling without succumbing to the narcissist's games and malicious plans. He is not interested in seeing anyone succeed in his life. He only wants to be the exceptional and superior one. He desires the spotlight to shine solely on him. With every progress you achieve, his resentment and displeasure towards you grow in unimaginable ways. Narcissists completely lack any kind of ethics. They consistently act disdainfully towards others, treating them with the utmost disrespect and belittling their worth. At this stage we've reached, the narcissist finds himself not letting any opportunity pass without exploiting it to ensure his control over you. In the end, he will dominate and destroy you, listening to his satisfaction. Hence, you must be extremely cautious. The narcissist is adept at manipulation and lying, and he might even reach the point where people believe his falsehoods. He can use people against you, so you must remain strong. Strong individuals, especially those who know how to handle the games and tricks employed by narcissists, are the only ones capable of confronting these situations. In conclusion, that was today's video. I hope you benefit from it and acquire new knowledge. There will be more videos in the future, so see you in the next video.
What is physical narcissism? 10 signs of physical narcissism. As we know, narcissism tends to revolve around a person's exaggerated sense of self-importance and their lack of empathy towards others. They constantly seek validation for this feeling. However, physical narcissism has its own distinct characteristics. Certainly, the term physical is connected to the body or human physique. Therefore, physical narcissism refers to individuals who are excessively preoccupied with their bodies to the point of obsession. They place a great emphasis on their sexual attractiveness. Physical narcissists use their bodies as a means to express their narcissism and feelings of entitlement. This stems from their perception of physical superiority, believing themselves to be more attractive, powerful, and fit than anyone else in terms of their physical appearance. Whether male or female, a physical narcissist believes they possess exceptional beauty or physical prowess. They consistently boast about their well-defined muscles and physique if male, or their overall physical attractiveness if female. In this episode, we will delve into the concept of physical narcissism, understanding the distinctions from other forms of narcissism, and also explore how it manifests in both genders, male and female. Peace be upon you, and the mercy of Allah and His blessings. Welcome to a new episode and a new video about narcissism. If you're interested in our discussions about narcissism, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming episodes. Firstly, I might use masculine terms to facilitate the delivery of information, but please understand that our discussions about narcissism are not gender-specific. They apply to both men and women. Let's dive into the topic of physical narcissism and differentiate it from other narcissistic traits. We'll also discuss physical narcissism in both males and females. What is physical narcissism? Physical narcissism refers to a person who is excessively obsessed with their appearance. They specifically use their attractive appearance to manipulate others. They consistently believe that their physical appearance is one of the most crucial factors that make them superior to others. Individuals with physical narcissism invest an excessive amount of time and money into maintaining their appearance. They have a significant need for attention focused on their physical attribute, as they consider their body to be a vital aspect. As a result, they are highly sensitive to any criticism or judgment regarding their body or sexual performance. Furthermore, those with physical narcissism often view individuals who possess attractiveness and a captivating appearance as potential rivals due to their focus on physical appearance. For such individuals, their appearance takes precedence over almost anything else to an exaggerated extent. This obsession drives them to take actions that help them maintain or enhance their physical appearance. Their fixation on appearance is often rooted in a lack of self-security concerning their physical attributes, which closely parallels narcissism in general. Physical narcissism is categorized by psychologists into three types. 1. Cerebral or intellectual narcissists, who derive their superiority from their intelligence. 2. Sexual narcissists, who gain a sense of entitlement from sexual relationships. 3. Physical narcissists, who feel inferior due to their physical appearance. It's important to note that an individual might not fit exclusively into one type of narcissism. They could exhibit characteristics from multiple categories simultaneously. All right, what's the difference between somatic narcissism and sexual narcissism? Somatic narcissism and sexual narcissism can sometimes overlap, as both types express narcissism through their bodies. Sexual narcissism gains intense pleasure from seducing others to validate their belief that they're attractive because of their bodies. They seek to prove that others are drawn to them physically. On the other hand, somatic narcissism feels entitled to sexual attention and treats others as tools to boost their own ego. However, they may not be as obsessed as sexual narcissists. Let's differentiate between cerebral narcissism and somatic narcissism. Cerebral narcissism derives its supply from feeling intellectually superior and flaunts complex speech or achievements. They might boast about reading numerous books. In contrast, somatic narcissism relies on their body to feel important. The goal of somatic narcissism is to garner admiration for their body or the number of people who pay attention to them and are impressed by them. So what are the signs of somatic narcissism? If you're unsure whether someone you're dealing with is a somatic narcissist or not, here are some signs and symptoms that indicate someone might be a somatic narcissist. Sure, here is the translation of your text. The first sign that someone is a physical narcissist is their obsession with food, weight, and physical fitness. Physical narcissists can spend an extensive amount of time talking about sports or activities they engage in, such as going to the gym or following a specific diet. Cosmetic procedures also capture significant attention from physical narcissists, as they do whatever they can to enhance their appearance and make themselves look better. This applies to both men and women, as I'm talking about the narcissistic personality, which can be present in either gender. The next sign is that physical narcissists are excessively arrogant and consistently display this arrogance. Physical narcissists spend lavishly on things like high-end clothing and fitness equipment. More often than not, you'll find them driving expensive cars and living a comfortable and wealthy life. Even if their financial situation is not stable, physical narcissists might accumulate debt to obtain the items that maintain the image they want to portray. Another sign is the utilization of their physical and sexual attractiveness to exploit others. Physical narcissists intentionally flirt with people to achieve their desired outcomes or manipulate situations. They consistently believe that everyone is attracted to them, and they use this perception to gain personal benefits. Furthermore, physical narcissists often use sex as a tool to validate themselves and feel a sense of importance. Engaging in infidelity, sexual violence, seeking out partners who share their sexual desires, and manipulating individuals with similar sexual inclinations are all signs of physical narcissism. Many individuals of this type seek a sense of importance and self-esteem by feeling sexually desired. The somatic narcissist uses their sexual life as a tool for controlling the relationships they enter into. They also employ sex as a means of narcissistic supply, and they may even be categorized as sex addicts. Contrary to the sexual narcissist, the somatic narcissist can attain narcissistic supply through other means that do not necessarily involve direct sexual activity. Another characteristic of the somatic narcissist is their use of triangulation. They tend to use triangulation with previous victims to gauge whether there could be an emotional response from them. In this case, the somatic narcissist needs to see the victim they are interacting with suffering from the perception of a third party in the narcissistic relationship. Furthermore, the somatic narcissist is skilled at developing their approach within relationships. They often display a highly dominant and controlling demeanor. The somatic narcissist is excessively selfish when it comes to their needs, with an overwhelming sense of entitlement. They expect things to go their way without any effort on their part and anticipate that others should follow their lead and aspire to be their friend or lover. In discussions, they tend to excessively talk about themselves. In specific conversations, you might notice that they listen more than they speak, as they are waiting for an opportunity to redirect the conversation back to themselves. Another telltale sign is that they undermine your efforts when you accomplish something or succeed at a task. The somatic narcissist lacks empathy toward others and often downplays the value of the efforts made by others. Simultaneously, they have a strong tendency to exaggerate their own achievements, even if they are minor. Moreover, they tend to disregard your needs and desires, focusing overly on their own. They struggle to effectively meet the needs of others. In general, the narcissist tends to concentrate heavily on their personal needs and desires, facing significant difficulties and challenges in accommodating the needs of others. In your relationship with them, this means that your needs and desires might not hold much importance in their eyes. Another sign of the bodily narcissist is that they cannot tolerate criticism at all. They face tremendous difficulty in accepting criticism, and their reaction to any attempt to criticize them is often very negative. This aversion to criticism is profound and inflates their ego to an indescribable extent. Critiquing the bodily narcissist on matters related to their appearance or physique can be excruciatingly painful for them. Do not criticize the bodily narcissist on their appearance, as it could be extremely distressing for them. Furthermore, you will notice that most of their criticism towards others revolves around appearance. This is because the narcissist ensures their sense of superiority by criticizing those they perceive as physically inferior or less attractive. You'll observe this behavior especially when they make jokes about people who are overweight, elderly, or anyone they consider less than ideal in terms of physical appearance. Additionally, they consistently offer their opinions on the appearance and looks of others, following them in a peculiar manner. They might inquire about the type of food others eat, the kind of exercise they engage in, or even their clothing choices. This behavior causes them significant anxiety and preoccupies their thoughts. Now let's talk about the female somatic narcissist. The female somatic narcissist enjoys using her appearance to gain material things. Typically, she is constantly looking for someone who can financially support her needs based on her looks and appearance. The somatic woman is very skilled at identifying high-status individuals to maintain the lifestyle that makes her feel attractive and superior. She wants everything and feels entitled to it, without necessarily putting in any effort to fulfill her requirements. As for the male somatic narcissist, it's well known that the female somatic tends to prioritize appearances more than the male. However, there are many male somatic narcissists who are overly obsessed with themselves and their appearance. The male somatic narcissist takes great pride in his sexual relationships and often boasts about his strength and high physical fitness. He tends to believe that when someone is interested in him, they must want to engage in a sexual relationship. Physical appearance, adhering to a specific diet, and engaging in regular exercise are crucial for the male somatic narcissist. These factors contribute to his popularity among those who admire his athletic body and appearance. While the male somatic narcissist may not actively seek out a wealthy partner like the female counterpart does, he still values various relationships with women. However, he might avoid getting into committed relationships like marriage due to the fear of commitment. He prefers to draw people's attention to himself and exploit them for his benefit, using them and then leaving them after he gets what he wants from them. All of his interests revolve around establishing relationships primarily for sexual purposes, and he is never truly committed to anyone he becomes involved with. Identifying the somatic narcissist might not be easy initially. As with all narcissists, he is a skilled manipulator, which makes him adept at concealing his true nature and avoiding easy detection. Like all narcissists, the somatic narcissist initially plays the role of an ideal partner to his victim. He praises and admires the victim, showing fascination with their personality. Once the victim becomes addicted, he starts to inflict subtle abuse, followed by an idealization phase, and then the usual cycle of devaluing, demeaning, ignoring, and attempting to regain control. Narcissists share a common pattern, but it can vary based on circumstances and the type of victim they are dealing with. As the somatic narcissist ages, his beauty, strength, and sexual allure begin to diminish. This poses a significant challenge for him, as the source of his narcissistic supply dwindles with age. He struggles with this unbearable reality due to his inability to form genuine, healthy relationships with others. Ultimately, he ends up alone because he can't maintain normal or healthy relationships. He attempts to appear younger by wearing clothing inappropriate for his age, or might even resort to expensive cosmetic procedures to mask the signs of aging. This applies to both male and female somatic narcissists. How to deal with a narcissistic body-focused individual whom you are involved with. A body-focused narcissist is similar to any other narcissist in lacking empathy towards others. If you are in a relationship with a body-focused narcissist, try to avoid displaying emotional reactions to their behavior, as this likely won't yield any results. You need to be extremely cautious when dealing with someone whose entire life revolves around themselves, or who judges others based on their own lives. Understand that in your relationship with a body-focused narcissist, the most important thing to them is receiving attention and admiration from you. This will make them treat you exceptionally well initially, and it's even possible that they genuinely fall for you because they are skilled at manipulating you to get what they want and need. The best way to handle a body-focused narcissist is by setting boundaries. This may even mean cutting off contact. Throughout your interaction with the narcissist, you should be confident and certain that they cannot change in any circumstance. If you suspect that you're in a relationship with someone who might be a body-focused narcissist, consider leaving immediately. I hope this episode has been helpful to you, and hopefully we'll meet in the next episode with a new topic about narcissism. Thank you and peace be upon you.
In this episode, we will talk about the 10 things that terrify and greatly disturb narcissists, which may cause them stress and anxiety if you do any of them. First, narcissists fear neglect. Firstly, narcissists fear neglect. Since they love to be the center of attention and focus, they feel sadness and depression when they perceive a sudden decrease in attention towards them. They want everyone around them to revolve around and support them, praising them all the time. They consider themselves the center of the universe and believe others are merely servants to cater to their needs and desires. When a narcissist feels that attention and focus are diminishing, even if it's minor, they experience fatigue and frustration and are significantly affected. The toxic and sick nature of narcissistic personality makes them always feel like they are the most important in others' lives and that they should be treated differently than anyone else. Narcissists suffer from an excessive sense of entitlement, believing they deserve everything and should receive everything without giving anything in return. And when they do give something, it's only for their personal gain, without considering others. Furthermore, narcissists don't give anything without expecting something in return, requiring them to gain a specific benefit in exchange. They don't care about what they can offer to others without a return, as everything they do is for their personal benefit only. The second thing that terrifies narcissists is having their secrets revealed. The second thing that terrifies narcissists is having their secrets revealed. They live in their own world because they realize they are liars and that they lie in everything they do. The major issue for narcissists is that if one of their secrets is revealed, others will know that they are liars, and this will be extremely difficult for the narcissist, causing them distress and tension. Narcissists are very careful to have their own secrets, and they don't disclose their intentions in any way. Even the simplest details of their lives, they prefer not to reveal. Due to the narcissist's nature and their life based on lies and deceit, they fear greatly the exposure of their lies. They are very keen on maintaining their false image, which they use to deceive people that they are not contaminated. If their lies are exposed, it would tarnish this image. Once the narcissist knows that their victim or someone else has uncovered one of their secrets, it causes them extreme fear and panic. The third thing that terrifies narcissists greatly is the revelation of their true nature by their victim or someone in their surroundings. If someone discovers the narcissist's psychological disorder and illness, it would be a huge catastrophe for the narcissist, completely shattering their life. Narcissists are highly focused on doing whatever they want to their victim or people around them. They act innocent while depriving others of their rights and mistreating them, without even considering that they are the ones causing harm. Narcissists strive to destroy their victim and cause harm without them realizing it. The victim does not grasp that the narcissist is responsible for this. If others learn the destructive truth about the narcissist, they would distance themselves and escape to protect themselves. This is something the narcissist cannot tolerate at all. The fear that the narcissist cannot endure is their victim knowing the truth about them and realizing that they are narcissistic. The narcissist doesn't even admit to themselves that they have a psychological problem or that they are abnormal. So, how can they accept someone confronting them with this harsh truth? Even if the narcissist someday realizes that they have a mental illness, they will revolt against it and completely deny it. They will resist any treatment because they refuse to acknowledge their illness and instead accuse everyone around them of being the ones with mental issues, while portraying themselves as the healthy and normal individuals. Often, people ask whether narcissists intentionally harm them and whether they are aware of causing harm. The answer is yes, the narcissist is well aware of their actions because they have a clear understanding of their own truth. However, they refuse to admit it. Therefore, never assume that a narcissist apologizes or even needs therapy because they simply don't want to acknowledge their need for it and continue in their ways. We can never sympathize with someone who refuses to change and continues to harm people and victims without any remorse. The narcissist is not insane, so we cannot excuse or say that they won't be held accountable for their actions. They suffer from a psychological disorder and are well aware of their condition, yet they persist without any compassion. We must understand that a narcissist is not just mentally ill, but a person who knows their own truth, fully aware of their actions, and unwilling to change or seek treatment. Therefore, we must approach narcissists cautiously and not fall into the trap of false sympathy, as they continue to harm others without any remorse. Furthermore, another thing that frightens narcissists is being abandoned, ignored, or rejected, causing them to fear isolation. A significant issue for narcissists is that they feel terrified if they are ignored or excluded. Narcissists are accustomed to being the ones who leave others and expect others to be the ones to part from them. They do not anticipate being ignored or excluded. Furthermore, narcissists heavily rely on others for self-gratification and emotional nourishment. They cannot live on their own or without depending on someone else. Therefore, narcissists are very keen on maintaining relationships with others and relying on them. Narcissists are generally involved in multiple relationships. They strive to sustain connections with as many individuals as possible to avoid losing anyone and relying on another person. Nevertheless, ignoring or excluding a narcissist can cause them extreme fear and distress, especially if they have lost someone they consider important and cannot find a substitute. For a narcissist, not being able to retain anyone can adversely affect their emotions and mental state. The idea of separating from others induces anxiety, tension, and fear within them. This is because they perceive themselves as the center of the universe and cannot imagine living without others around them. A narcissist never abandons their victim, even if anything happens. They rely on their victim as a source of emotional nourishment and energy, and they cannot exist without them. Consequently, narcissists exert great effort to maintain their relationship with the victim and do not contemplate leaving them, even if problems or conflicts arise between them. If a narcissist loses their source of emotional nourishment, whether due to separating from their victim or any other reason, their mental state becomes incredibly challenging and frightening. They heavily depend on this source and cannot function without it. When a narcissist abandons their victim, they might do so as a form of punishment, but not always permanently, as they require multiple sources for their emotional nourishment and cannot rely on just one person. Consequently, they keep their victim as is, yet simultaneously seek alternative sources of emotional nourishment to maintain their mental health and well-being. If a narcissist is left by their victim, it might seem to them that they are living normally and unaffected by the absence. However, this is not true, as they feel pain and frustration internally, yet they conceal it from others. This is because they consider themselves the center of the universe and do not want to reveal their weakness or their inability to be self-reliant. The next thing that dreads narcissists the most is committing to something specific. The next thing that terrifies narcissists greatly is committing to something specific. After committing to something, narcissists become extremely exhausted and frightened. The feeling of commitment and responsibility generates tension and anxiety within them. Since narcissists engage in relationships solely for personal gain or a particular objective, it is difficult for them to commit to any natural relationship, such as marriage, as they need freedom and flexibility in their behavior. Even in ordinary relationships, narcissists' behaviors are not normal, they are unusual and entirely unfamiliar. They enjoy embarking on adventures and new experiences without considering the negative consequences that may arise from them. The greatest annoyance for narcissists comes when they are forced to commit to something specific, whether it's a commitment in a relationship or in daily life. They feel restricted and disciplined, which they find dull and discouraging. It can be said that any attempt to impose commitment on narcissists will likely fail. They cannot endure any kind of pressure or constraints, which can result in much pain and frustration for them. Ultimately, dealing with narcissists requires caution and refraining from attempting to force them into anything. Instead, allowing them the freedom and choice in matters they desire is more appropriate. The next thing that greatly terrifies a narcissist is being insulted or belittled. The next thing that terrifies the narcissist greatly is being insulted or belittled. Actions involving insults or diminishing the narcissist's value are among the most detrimental to them. The narcissist views themselves as a legend and an important figure, so anything that insults their personality or affects their worth makes them feel humiliated and shattered. Any action containing insults or devaluation of the narcissist's worth can swiftly lead to their destruction. The person is subjected to a great deal of pressure and anxiety. It's important to note that the narcissist's reaction to such actions is extremely strong and can lead to anger and negative behaviors. It's crucial to mention that a narcissist does not backtrack on their ideas or admit any mistakes, and they don't allow anyone to unveil the mask they wear. Therefore, caution is necessary when dealing with a narcissist and considering their reactions. In normal relationship conflicts, it's expected to happen in any relationship and may result in cutting ties. However, in the case of a narcissist, they always seek revenge and the destruction of anyone they perceive as having insulted them or diminished their value. They deal with these conflicts in a clever and premeditated manner. The narcissist's reactions are marked by extreme intelligence. They meticulously plan these responses before executing them, so you should be mindful of this before taking any action related to the narcissist. You should be aware of their reactions and deal with them appropriately to avoid causing further harm. The narcissist is characterized by not admitting any mistakes and not retracting from their held beliefs, regardless of their accuracy or fallacy. They won't let their mask be unveiled. Therefore, caution is necessary when dealing with a narcissist to avoid offending them. The narcissist greatly fears confronting their mistakes in front of others, as they see it as an insult to their personality and a reduction of their value. Therefore, it's important to avoid confronting them about any mistakes they may have made and to handle them respectfully and appropriately to prevent any new harm. What terrifies the narcissist greatly afterward is becoming attached to or loving someone. The narcissist's love or attachment to someone makes that person strongly attached to them, enabling the narcissist to easily control and manipulate them. The narcissist sees attachment as a weakness that puts them under the control of others. As a result, they always strive to avoid attachment and refrain from feeling any compassion or connection to anyone. If a narcissist loves or becomes attached to someone, they cannot seek revenge or destroy them because they lack any form of empathy and remain unaffected by the collapse that might affect the other person. Additionally, the narcissist fears feeling love or attachment to someone, as they dread the possibility of being abandoned and left in a vulnerable state. It's important to remember that a narcissist always seeks control and manipulation, and they may exploit any relationship or attachment to achieve their goals. Therefore, caution is necessary when dealing with a narcissist and avoiding any form of attachment to them. Love is a point of weakness for the narcissist, and they are careful to eliminate any weaknesses in their personality that could be exploited against them. The narcissist believes that everyone is trying to harm or damage them, leading them to act aggressively towards anyone who interacts with them. It's difficult for a narcissist to love or feel attached to someone, as it's considered a point of weakness and makes them lose control. If you sense that a narcissist loves you, it's very challenging, and often it's merely a facade to gain your attention and control you. Beware of anyone attempting to control you or take advantage of you in any way, and handle the narcissist with caution while avoiding getting entangled with them. Remember that a narcissist considers themselves the most important and constantly seeks control and manipulation. Therefore, it's crucial to avoid becoming attached to them and deal with them carefully to prevent any further harm. The next thing a narcissist dreads most is old age or getting old. The next thing that terrifies the narcissist greatly is aging or growing old. For the narcissist, one of the most frightening things is the process of aging, as it signifies weakness and susceptibility to illnesses that might affect their control and power. The narcissist feels extreme fear of losing control over their surroundings and expects others to treat them in a manner that befits their perceived superiority. An aging narcissist experiences fear and anxiety regarding relationships and interactions with others. They expect attention, empathy, and understanding regarding their situation, while simultaneously fearing any form of mistreatment or neglect. The narcissist constantly questions how they will be treated or how others will interact with them. The narcissist feels an intense fear of solitude and remaining alone. Therefore, they continuously strive to maintain control and manipulate the people around them. This fear intensifies as the narcissist ages, as they anticipate being abandoned and isolated. As a narcissist ages, they face significant challenges, feeling fear and anxiety about the future and social relationships. Therefore, it's important to approach them with empathy and attempt to provide a sense of security and comfort. Thank you very much for your support. If you found this content helpful, please like, subscribe and share. Thank you for helping to share this message with those who can benefit from it.
Why does the narcissist keep returning? In the wake of abandonment, what drives the narcissist to re-enter the victim's life and seek them out once again? After betraying, hurting, and subjecting them to emotional and psychological turmoil, what fuels the narcissist's urge to reconnect? Why does the narcissist continue returning to the victim's life? What compels their persistent reappearance? Let us delve into the reasons why the narcissist feels the need to resurface in the victim's life. What prompts the narcissist, after initially singling you out or ensnaring you, to come back once more? As we delve into our subject, consider this. When the narcissist circles back to the victim, it's crucial to recognize that from the outset, the narcissist targeted you and entrapped you. However, there comes a point where the narcissist becomes acquainted with facets of your being that were previously foreign to them. Perhaps it's your physical attractiveness or qualities that they lack. Yes, you possess certain traits that are absent in them. Yet, bear in mind, they don't truly know you on a personal level. They are unable to perceive the depth of your gaze, as the saying goes. Regrettably, in the realm of narcissism, individuals are often interchangeable. To the narcissist, all are indistinguishable. The concept of loving a person for who they are or for specific traits they possess is beyond their comprehension. Every individual is subjected to the same treatment, oscillating between admiration and belittlement. The narcissist is a relentless diminishing force, and over time, everyone succumbs to their viewpoint of narcissism. In their eyes, everyone is a mere source of ego nourishment. To the narcissist, all individuals are perceived as undeserving. While they alone deserve everything, they view everyone as their possessions, including those they interact with. Others are viewed as personal property, subject to their whims. The narcissist, dear listeners, treats you as if you're their private property, devoid of significance, emotions, and sensations. In their perception, you have no needs, feelings, or emotions. You hold a specific role in their life, a role meant to perpetuate their sense of control, superiority, ownership, and dominance over you. The narcissist's relentless return, unveiling the pattern. In the narcissist's realm, your presence doesn't evoke joy or sorrow. Therefore, his mistreatment and humiliations towards you hold no difficulty for him. Regardless of your suffering, he remains unaffected, neither by your experiences nor by external influences. To the narcissist, all humans are but subjects, possessions in his dominion. What drives the narcissist to return regardless of the circumstances? Even if he's distanced himself from you, or if he views you as an object akin to his possessions, like his phone or car.
In his eyes, you're an item he owns, bearing significance only in the role he's assigned you. Should you fulfill this role, supplying the sustenance he craves, ponder this equation for a moment. The narcissist never forsakes his victims. He clings to them unceasingly. He avoids leaving them to their own devices, maintaining a tight grip. And he doesn't limit himself to a solitary target. He operates on numerous fronts. The narcissist's focus isn't confined to a single victim. He requires more than one. 1, 2, 3, even 4 victims. Why? Upon deserting one, he swiftly shifts his attention to the next. This perpetual cycle is ideal for him. With multiple victims under his sway, he's in control. The moment he abandons you, he directs his manipulations and exploitation toward another victim. The narcissist never truly relinquishes. He's always plotting his return. He safeguards this intent within his psyche, preventing it from fading away during the year or two he might stay away. This tactic ensures his continuous reign over the relationship, resuming the exploitation and further draining what remains of you, a victim completely spent by the narcissist's relentless grasp. The narcissist won't release the victim until their very essence is obliterated. In this relentless pursuit, he employs every conceivable means to draw you back into his orbit, resuming the cycle of manipulation and control. The repeated return of the narcissist, a cycle of manipulation. The narcissist returns, and mind you, it's not just a single instance, but often multiple times, 2, 3, or more. Undoubtedly, you've come across people who've tangled with a narcissistic personality. Even those who have decisively cut ties eventually realize that their detachment happened when they were thoroughly drained, utterly weary, and worn out from enduring the narcissist's mistreatment, negative behaviors, and hurtful actions. Whether they left him or he left them, after a certain interval, be it a month, 2, 3, or even a year, the narcissist resurfaces. He employs promises, falsehoods, and claims of change, offering sweet words and pledging transformation. But these words seldom translate into actions. What matters most is that he attains his objectives by any means necessary. Lying poses no qualms for the narcissist. He's an adept fabricator. He never tires of falsehood, and his manipulation skills are exceptional, operating on levels you couldn't conceive. The narcissist's capacity for trickery, manipulation, and facade is unfathomable. His victims often find his reappearance a chilling experience. Even if there were deceit, tears, pledges, and alluring talk, victims sometimes believe that perhaps he is genuinely transformed. Yet the narcissistic persona remains constant. The abusive, narcissistic character is steadfast in its essence, unchanging until death. And it continues this way until the victim's demise as well. The victim's plight doesn't release the narcissist's grip. He never abandons them. He won't leave them in peace. His unsettling presence persists because he's a psychologically deranged, abnormal individual. He struggles to interact in a proper or expected manner, incapable of engaging in ordinary human interactions. The narcissist's return isn't spurred by sentiment but by the incessant need for control, triumph, and dominance over you. He embeds himself in your life to reign over you, dominating your emotions, thoughts, and every facet of existence. So when he leaves you, it's a form of punishment, an assertion of power, regardless of who initiated the separation. The narcissist perpetually entertains the possibility of your return, viewing it as a fresh conquest. To him, your reappearance signifies a victory anew. The repeated return of the narcissist, a cycle of manipulation. Part 1, a cycle of return. A recurring pattern. Numerous individuals who have extricated themselves from a relationship with a narcissistic personality, or those who have managed to distance themselves from their toxic influence, often find themselves in a familiar loop, where the narcissist returns not just once, but repeatedly. There's a discernible cycle at play here. As we've established, this is a way of life for the narcissist. He never truly lets go of his victim. His modus operandi centers on manipulation and control, driven by his insatiable arrogance. The craving for dominance fuels his actions, always striving to assert his influence. Part 2. The power play of the return. Resuming control. When the narcissist makes his reappearance, his intentions are clear. He aims to reclaim his position as the central figure in your life, the pivotal force around which your existence orbits. His purpose is to render you unable to function without him. By re-entering the toxic relationship, you effectively concede that he's once again at the helm, steering your emotions. Your world reverts to its previous state, as if he never lost his grip on you. And now, you're acutely aware of your compliance in allowing him to manipulate your emotions. Your agreement to his terms and the subsequent return to the toxic dynamic serve as a signal to him that he wields authority over you and your feelings. It's an acknowledgement of his control, and he revels in it. Part 3. Perpetuating presence, constant outreach. Even during periods of no contact or subsequent to the severance between the narcissist and his victim, you'll notice a relentless stream of messages from him. He'll find various avenues to communicate, be it through social media, phone calls, or any other means. If you've cut ties with him on certain platforms, he'll ingeniously navigate through to reach you. He endeavors to keep you preoccupied, ensuring you remain fixated on him. This calculated persistence ensures that his presence lodges firmly in your thoughts. By continually engaging your mind, he secures a lasting spot in your consciousness. He thrives on knowing he occupies your mental space, a constant reminder of his control. Conclusion: a vicious cycle. The return of the narcissist isn't a one-time event. It's a recurring cycle designed to maintain his dominance and fulfill his insatiable desire for control. As long as you continue to respond or engage, this cycle will persist, reinforcing his hold over you. Recognizing this pattern is the first step toward breaking free from his manipulation and reclaiming your autonomy. The Narcissist's Unquenchable Need for Control. Part 1. The Master of Destiny. Grandiosity at play. Within the realm of narcissism, an intense sense of grandiosity fuels the narcissist's actions. He finds gratification in re-establishing his grip on the relationship, manipulating you, and firmly asserting control. The conviction that he's the puppeteer of people's fates, particularly his victims, engenders a profound sense of satisfaction. Throughout your interaction, the narcissist ensures you view him as the paramount figure in your life. This positioning isn't confined to active engagement. He demands it during periods of no contact as well. Part 2. The Struggle for Supremacy. Unyielding quest for priority. In the phase of no contact or the interval of distance, the narcissist perceives it as a transient ordeal. During this span, you're expected to reserve your focus solely for him. He insists on retaining his preeminent status even when he's seemingly absent. Part 3. The Ego's Vulnerability. Challenging the ego. The narcissist confronts a significant challenge, particularly in this aspect. If he receives word or indication that you're contemplating involvement with someone else, his ego faces a severe blow. The mere notion threatens his perceived supremacy and profoundly impacts his psyche. He internalizes the idea that he's lost all significance in your life. His presence dwindles to nothingness, influence evaporates, and relevance wanes. No longer the focal point, the severance is stark for him. This realization serves as a powerful blow to his ego, underscoring his loss of control over you, an issue of paramount concern to a narcissist. Part 4. The Persistence of Control. Resisting the release. It's essential to recognize that the narcissist won't relinquish his hold easily. This isn't intended to be alarmist. It's an assertion rooted in his vengeful nature. The moment he discerns your resolute decision to exclude him from your considerations in life, an intense, boundless anger engulfs him. The realization that he's been relegated to insignificance triggers an all-consuming fury directed at you. Even if he's embarked on a new relationship or taken the step of marriage anew, rest assured that he won't forget you, especially if he's a narcissist. He'll find ways to cast shadows over your life, sow confusion and disrupt your peace using any means available. If an opportunity surfaces for retaliation, he'll seize it relentlessly. Conclusion: the nexus of control and revenge. In the narcissist's psyche, control and vengeance are inexorably intertwined. His return after periods of absence underscores his compulsive need for dominance and his unceasing quest to reclaim the upper hand. Breaking free from his grasp necessitates understanding his manipulative tactics and maintaining unwavering resolve. As you navigate this terrain, remember that the narcissist's revenge-driven actions are rooted in his wounded ego and his control hinges on your engagement.
The Cyclical Return of the Destructive Narcissist. Part 1. The Persistent Temptation. A perpetual cycle. Why does the narcissist keep coming back to you? Even when his intentions are destructive, his actions are frustrating, harmful, and deeply painful. After traversing the tumultuous journey of your relationship, marked by repeated cycles of separation and reunion, you've finally reached a point where you're determined to distance yourself, or he's chosen to leave. But he won't acquiesce so easily. Accepting your departure from his thoughts is not on his agenda. Part 2. The Original Intent. motivated by envy. The narcissist initially targeted you as a means of fulfilling his destructive urges. His aim was to obliterate both you and the positive attributes he lacks within himself. Envy festers within him towards anyone who possesses qualities he covets, qualities like yours or those of his victim du jour. Part 3. The return as devastation. A deceptive return. For the narcissist, returning to you signifies a mission of annihilation. When he was present in your life, a life potentially blessed by God's grace, or even one from which you were saved. His narcissistic presence was viewed as an expression of divine love toward him. Regardless of the suffering he inflicted or the pain he caused, his mere existence, even if fleeting or rife with turmoil, was perceived as a divine blessing. His return, however, isn't driven by remorse or the benevolent intentions you might project onto him. The purpose behind his return is far from apologetic or redemptive. Instead, he plans to exploit this opportunity to further your destruction. Part 4. A strategy of control. Calculated manipulation. The narcissist's return isn't marked by contrition or reform. It's marked by strategy. He seeks to evade responsibility for his past missteps, which he believes triggered your decision to distance yourself. He embarks on a calculated endeavor to mend his ways, not for the sake of your relationship's restoration, but to ensure your ultimate downfall. This time, he's determined to tighten his grip, preventing any escape from his manipulative clutches. Conclusion: the power struggle continues. Understanding the narcissist's cyclical return illuminates the unrelenting power struggle he perpetuates. His intent is not to reconcile, evolve, or foster a healthy bond. Instead, his return underscores his insatiable thirst for dominance and your subjugation. Remaining vigilant against his destructive influence is key, as is recognizing the deceptive allure that can accompany his re-entrance. In the battle against a narcissist's return, knowledge and resilience are your greatest allies. The inescapable grip of the narcissist. Endless pursuit. It's crucial to understand that a narcissist will never willingly release you from his sphere of influence. No matter the circumstances, whether you're the one who initiated separation and distance, he will persistently keep you at the forefront of his thoughts. He relentlessly pursues you, ceaselessly seeking opportunities to draw you back into the web of the relationship. He employs destructive behaviors, as previously discussed, in his pursuit of this goal. His objective is to re-establish control over you, to experience the satisfaction of your return, and to wield power over your very existence. Part 1. The narcissist's twisted delight, a twisted form of joy. Upon his return to the relationship, the narcissist finds contentment in unsettling ways. He revels in witnessing your distress, your sadness, anger, or tension, forming his version of happiness from your misery. Yet, intriguingly, your triumphs and successes, particularly your escape from his clutches, profoundly agitate him. The fact that you've distanced yourself, that you've eluded his grip, frustrates and infuriates him to no end. Part 2. The motive behind the return. The catalyst for his return. This prompts a critical inquiry. What motivates the narcissist to return? It's more than mere whim. It's a compulsion. His return heralds the resurgence of the narcissist's presence, reigniting the toxic dynamic. As I've iterated, the narcissist won't release his hold on you. I implore you to internalize this truth. To those questioning or speculating in the comments about his intentions or why he persistently re-enters your life, listen closely. I'm earnestly endeavoring to clarify that the narcissist won't grant you freedom. Individually, the narcissist embodies destructiveness. Your interactions with him seldom yield positive experiences. How can you all casually employ the term narcissist as if it holds no gravity? Let's address this candidly. How can you reconcile being ensnared in a detrimental relationship? How do you contend with ceaselessly extending your best efforts only to receive negativity in return? I yearn to comprehend the allure within such circumstances. How does it feel to be perpetually the sacrifice, without a glimmer of positivity? Who designates these roles? Who posits that one party perpetually takes while the other solely gives? When did such dynamics become acceptable? Can we simply persist in this manner? No, this extends beyond mere endurance. It embodies insult, degradation, depreciation of self-worth, an absence of dignity, manipulation, devastation, the tainting of reputation, manifestations humans are inherently disinclined to endure or tolerate. No individual should subject themselves to such degradation. Refrain from suggesting, in the end, "But I love him," or "I'm entwined with him." What does that signify? Such notions inherently encompass the gravest affront, a self-inflicted wound, a toxic relationship's most severe form of harm. I ardently hope this message has resonated in this video or episode.